Good afternoon. It is Friday, March 7th. This is the end of the week, Mr. Not Advice, end of the week update and review. Always, this is for entertainment purposes only, not an offer to buy or sell anything. And as my name says, I don't give advice. All right, overview of the market from my perspective. What a mess the market is. And it remains to be, or remains a mess. Despite the fact that we did break through those lows on the SPY and the Qs of both 600 and 500 on the Qs. But despite that, we had, at the end of the day, 2 attempts to rally, and we did close, not at the highs, but we did close up on the NASDAQ and up on the ES. What do I think is going on? I am taking very special note of the following things. The professional traders that I track, not follow, but that I track on Twitter, I saw a lot of chatter about the 200-day moving average, which price bounced above and closed above today on both indexes. I saw a lot of chatter about order flow coming in and some selling exhaustion. And so I actually took a long trade on the 5-minute chart based on this morning. And I decided to carry it over the weekend, and we'll see how I do. But and I've already had my first scale on it for plus 100%. But the point of it is we remain right now, we are at a level, okay, my go short level, which I had drawn, I mean, my gosh, I drew this line probably back end of 2024. My go short level was 565.25, okay? Today, we got down on the SPY to 565.63. My go short level on the Qs was a little bit lower at 477.27, and on the Qs we got as low as 480.53. My point is, even my levels, which are major levels, because I'm talking about, hey, we flip past these levels, the inertia of the market is going to be down. Okay, so I am taking special note of, and I did get long the market. I think Powell's speech, you know, is almost like the calm voice in the room, even though, you know, a lot of people don't think he knows what he's doing. I think he knows exactly what he's doing, and he does it on purpose. But he doesn't work for you guys. He works for the Federal Reserve, which is not a federal agency, not a conspiracy. So here's you know, I think Powell helped steady the market. I actually went in right before Trump started speaking, and that sold the market off because he again changed the frigging date. He just said April 2nd, and then he said this weekend maybe. You know, again, guys and gals, this is on purpose, okay? Step back, whether or not you agree with it and you think it's smart, step back from that. Start with a blank slate, okay? If you look at it from his perspective, okay, this is a war. And there's an opponent. And one of the best things you can do in the military, okay, or in any sport or any team event is to sow sheer confusion in your opponent / enemy's mind. He's doing it, okay? And so let's step back before you jump to the conclusion of, oh, he's insane. He's not insane. He's not insane, okay? Not by a far reach. So he's no more insane than Joe Biden was insane when Joe had all his marbles. Okay, you can differ with his opinion, you can indiffer with that, but the guy's not insane, so you got to throw that fact out the window. Okay, so looking at what I think is going to happen, look, if this rally, if we open up on Monday and aren't able to sustain a rally, I'm going to flip short because it's going to get painful, right? We're going to test that big time level that I told you about just now on both the Qs. That level is 477.27, and on the SPYs, it is 565.25. Okay, 565.25, and our low today was 565.63 in the SPYs. We had a nice healthy drop on the VIX. That helps me believe that we are seeing that this could be a temporary bottom. What else am I seeing? One of the things that is concerning to me remains the Japanese yen and the Japanese yields as well as U.S. yields. And so I was talking to a VIP the other day and I said, look, we have a couple outlier events that could blow up over the weekend that there's not enough evidence that it's there yet, but certainly there's a little bit of smoke. One of those is the yen, Japanese yen to US dollar level has broken through the level where the yen carry trade originally got blown up in August. And so is something blowing up behind the scenes? I don't know. We're not going to know, by the way, until it actually it manifests itself. So we have that. We also really don't know anything of what's coming from Trump. So the market's is very frustrated and is trying to make a decision on, and it's not able to, and you can see the frustration in the market. I'm still in a sell the rip mode, and will remain so. Here's this is Goldman's private trading desk. This is what, if you're afraid, this is why you should be afraid. Growth concerns, payrolls, ISM manufacturing follows the weak confidence readings. Tariff fatigue, obviously. That's being magnified by a thematic repricing in AI. Good point. Global complexity. We've got German and France yields breaking out due to what they are supposedly going to do. They don't have the money. Their $800 billion funding of NATO in the Ukraine war. And then we've got China higher again based on JD, BABA. What else? Technicals are weak. However, they reversed today and we did close above the 200-day moving average. Look, if there's one technical trend line that I pay attention to, it would be that one because everyone pays attention to it, okay? Systematic supply. CTAs have sold almost $60 billion of equity in the last week, of which $30 billion is in the S&P 500, in the actual index. Let's see. We've got the outperformers have been healthcare, utilities, and semis, and the consumer sensitive such as Abercrombie and Fitch, cruise lines. They are weak. I'm sorry. We have outperformance in healthcare, utilities, and semis. Yes, and consumers' weakness. Here's the big line. Seasonality is set up in what everyone in the professional trading community is paying attention to, almost like they hope it happens, is that a bounce is set up, and there's an exact date, 3/14. Okay? So March 14th. However, there is a silver lining. As Goldman's trading desk writes, CTAs have sold $47 billion in the last week. Our calculations show that they will be finished next week. So their required selling will be done, and corporate buybacks are running at $5 billion a day. So if they continue strongly, we should have less of a negative liquidity flow. So we have negative liquidity right now. NASDAQ and S&P close above the 200-day moving average. We've got, let's see, yeah, the tariff is just killing us. All the news about the tariff, it's just amazing to me. Keep an eye on. It's not anything that's going to blow up, but understand why it's happening. The reason why you're hearing about the German bond market is because how much the yields have risen in the last couple, months, just the last 3 weeks. We've seen German yields go from, I'm sorry, Let's see here. Since the 3rd of March, the German yield 2.4, and it's as high as 2.9. That's just incredible. Why are we seeing that? Because they expect a big spending package out of each of the NATO members to get their GDP spending up. Okay? Now, none of them are going to do it because they don't have the money. But what that's showing you, telling you, when you see German yields spiking, is that the bond market's saying, yeah, it's going to cost you guys a lot more money than you thought. Okay? Meaning it's a lot higher risk. Any other additional notes of interest here? And then I'll get to ENVX and EOSE as well as PCT. We have a number of people in PCT. Okay, and then finally, people pay attention to Gamma, right? Gamma flipped negative, and what that's going to mean is any move to the downside is going to be exasperated. So not good. Yields ended slightly higher on the week, and the yield curve did actually disinvert again. They measure the 3-month 10-year spread. Bitcoin had modest gains for the week. Trump's strategic Bitcoin reserve disappointed because he didn't announce any new buying. He just announced confiscation of recovered Bitcoin criminal activities. Bitcoin may have bottomed, but looking at a chart comparing it to global M2 liquidity, according to Goldman, I think it's Goldman or Deutsche, we may have one more bottom. There is a corollary between Bitcoin and the global M2 money supply. And as money supply grows, it's going to be flowing into the market. Oil prices. Oil is down solidly below $70. And good news is price of gas is expected to drop an additional 15 cents over the next week and a half. Make sure I get the overall market all done. Ultimately, I think frustration remains incredibly high with the market. I think that I've seen that chart that has the corollary to the last time Trump tariffs 1.0. Where are we with? We're very near low, but in Trump tariffs 2.0 regime on a time scale, we're very near low. But as just Jake brought up, what's the scale of the chart? Looking at it, yeah, I can see that, and I can see that there would be a price relative to how he's timing all of this, but more so how the market gets used to the noise. There'll be a period where the market gets used to the noise. The market will rally. That's what I think is going to happen next week, by the way. The market's going to rally. They get used to the noise. And then the reality of really what he's doing, which I'm going to do in a newsletter this weekend, and the pain that's going to be coming. When he said last week that there's going to be short-term pain, Americans and their, God bless them, short-term pain to them is like, 6 days. So we're done. No, this is going to be months, I think. And that's if they are able to thread the needle, so to speak. However, one thing to keep an eye on, there is something called a CDS. A CDS is a credit default swap. Very simply, what it measures is what is the risk of whoever has sold that credit default swap. What is the risk of default? So every country has one. Well, the USA sovereign default risk in the span of 2 weeks has jumped from, on a scale, 27 to 40.59. Let me see what the scale is here. Of course, I don't have what the increment. Anyway, on a mathematical scale, that's a huge jump. Why would that be? Well, there could be 2 reasons. U.S. government shutdown is imminent. That's the 15th, right? Or more traders are starting to realize that Besant's desire to bring the long end yields down necessitates a rapid and sharp recession. Hey, where the hell have you guys been hearing that for like the last 12 to 18 months? Okay? We're going to, recession, recession, recession. I just think that we got to maybe like a little bit of still of a holiday period if Trump's able to thread the needle, where we may get a couple months of upmarket. However, we're moving on. NFX. Looking at NFX chart this week, it's the good news is it's consolidating at a very major support level. From where we are now, let's call it 8 is the initial support, and it's held that for a number of days. That's good. Then we get down to 771 to 736, and then we're in the gap that goes all the way back down, all the way back to May 1st. So where do I think we're headed? I think generally we're going to be headed downwards because I think on down days this will go down more, and on up days this will go up less. So I think this is going to march down. EOSE, we've got a break above that major support line, which is what triggered me into a quick trade yesterday, right? Day before. Let's see, 450. I wanted to see a break above that, got that, enter the trade. We've got 2 days of lower highs and lower lows. However, the price action today, the bulls won it. Now we get to see on Monday, at the very least, if they will take out today's high. What do I think is going to happen? Not much. I don't think this really gets any excitement until we get back above 5, maybe 550. I think at that point we get excitement. Looking at the selling today, in terms of was it particularly orderly? No, not really. I know there's somebody on FinTwit who's talking about it was algorithmic. I don't see it, but he may have something that I don't see. So I don't think it was algorithmic. I see a couple bars that are pretty large selling. So what am I looking for? Very simple. EOSE right now needs to break topside, the high of 3.5, which is 498. Let's call it 5. Close above $5. I will add heavier to my longs. Close above 529. I will add heavy to my longs. Okay. To the downside, right now, as of today, end of this week, 365, which was the low on 3.4, that remains support. If you have a chart, look all the way back at 1016. 1016 high was 366. Okay, the low on March 4th of this week was 366. That 366 level happened to be the break level, which was a second chance for anyone to get long this stock at about $3.60. So this is a big time level, and we bounced off of it. So I like that. But I think the best right now is without any news or any blow-off rally in the markets, and I gave you the levels for those. The best we can do is sideways to down on this stock. As far as NFX, I still think, sideways to down. But again, it's also at a very supportive area. So if this takes, Monday or Tuesday, if we still get this sideways action, if we even get a little up, I'll probably look at exiting my runners on that I've already scaled on. The banks got particularly hit hard last week. We put in 2 actual candle dojis, and we did bounce here at that level that has been supportive going back to October. So this could be, here's what I'm seeing across the board, with exception. Microsoft doesn't seem like, actually Microsoft is also bouncing. What I was going to say, across the board, what I'm seeing are these bottoming formations. I'm seeing order flow, as I shared with you. I'm seeing seasonality all come into to the bullish side as a tailwind. So what I think could happen, and I think we'll know Monday, Tuesday, is if we get a big green day on Monday and it doesn't hold, if we take out Monday's lows, I'll probably go short. Okay? I'll look to go short, but that'll be very bad. If we go green on Monday and we close at the highs, then I think that the low will temporarily be in. Okay? A third day, the low's in. If on Monday we close green, but right in the middle, but not at the highs or the lows, to me, that's still a win by the bulls because they have stopped it from going down. Okay? So that I think we're going to know a lot more on Monday. TLT. I'm looking at the weekly chart on TLT, and looks like we have a slight bounce. We did a double bottom around this 84.85 area, and resistance is $100, 101.65. A reason why I'm long TLT is that is short the 10-year yield, because I think that's what they want to drive down. I'm sorry, short the 20-year yield. That's what they want to drive down, is the long end of the curve, which is why CNBC's commentary today was Bessent wouldn't be happy because the long end actually went up. So on a weekly basis, from a pattern standpoint, the SPY on a weekly basis just confirmed it's a 3-candle formation or 3-candle rule downtrend on the SPY. On the Qs, it's also a confirmed 3-candle downtrend. Looking at individual stocks, Palantir, not a 3-candle downtrend. We actually bounced off support on the weekly. NVIDIA, 3-candle downtrend. Microsoft, we are in a 5-candle, a lot of candle weekly downtrend. EOSE finished with not a high close doji, an engulfing candle on the weekly, but it did close above last week's high. So it's a dirty high close doji. That's bullish. ENVX, however, closed with a third week of a weekly down. So we've got a downtrend. As we look at finally VIX, and because I'm in a trade on the VIX right now through another product. Today we had a lower close than yesterday, but other than that, we had 2 higher highs. So this may have not petered itself out. So that's going to be the battle, right? Watch for the VIX. What would I watch for? Well, I think if you get a spike over probably 28, I think then it's probably going to be, you should look at that the short side's getting either happening or getting attractive. I think if we break underneath 20 on the VIX, let me do an exact level here. Yeah, I like 20. It's a psychological number, and the VIX is all about psychology. So if we break below 20, I think that's when I'll get a little more excited about the long side. So hopefully you all had a great weekend. Yeah, don't forget to send me ideas on what you want to cover or what you want me to talk about. Trying to line up a podcast with Reese. He hasn't responded yet, but could be he's traveling. And I'm waiting for Mr. White to get, I know he's swamped right now, but we're going to do a banking CRE update. Jake and I are going to do a right, left leaning political discussion on Trump's Trump's policies, or what we think is going to happen. And then I will put out a newsletter this week. So anyway, I hope you have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you soon.